We are halfway through this year, so where are home prices sitting today? That's what we're going to talk about today. So let's get into it, you guys. I'm Caitlin McKegg. I am a real estate broker here in Phoenix, Arizona, and I am coming back to YouTube from maternity leave and ready to give you guys some great information. So let's jump in. Today we're sitting at about $443,000 as our monthly median sales price. Now, if we look back at last year, it was $474,000, about $475,000. So year over year, we're down about 6%. And I'm sorry, I'm not sure why this is blinking, but at least I can read the numbers to you. And then starting the year, $410,000 is where we were at for that monthly median sales price, and being up to about 443 now, that's an increase of almost 7%, somewhere around there from January until now. So you can see median home prices have only continued to increase through this year. And we do have a pretty big difference between last year and this year. And that was right before everything kind of tapered off. But if we continue increasing, we're going to be close to where we were at last July, and the year over year median sales price at least won't look much different. So time will tell if that continues. But I also wanted to talk about the Schiller Home Price Index, because this information just came out last week. And this is comparing one quarter to another quarter. And they're actually looking at February through April with this data. And they're comparing it to the previous 3 months. And so you can see Phoenix is down here at number 20. Last year and the year before, Phoenix definitely had the number one spot and was in the top 5 for quite a while. And now we're barely hanging on the list with a 0.77% increase from the previous reading. So again, this is February to April data. So this is already outdated, but they're comparing it to the previous 3 months when we're looking at this. The average increase month over month, it was 1.31%, which is almost twice as high as what Phoenix had. This information, again, is the Schiller Home Price Index, but I'm looking at this on the Cromford Report. So sharing all that detail with you there. And wanted to also talk about list prices, because it's interesting to see where list prices are at, because that can be the predictor of where sales prices are heading. And we're seeing this start to go down. So why is that? Well, it is the summer. Summer is usually a little bit slower. We have fewer transactions taking place. We have fewer homes on the market. And also rates are kind of high, and sellers might be a little bit more cautious now with their sales or their list price, because they do want to get a buyer and they need to adjust slightly. It could be a number of things. So I'm not entirely sure if there's one reason why we're starting to see this go down, but that's my opinion. But we're definitely seeing less inventory and fewer homes on the market. So if we look at our active listings, starting at the beginning of the year, we were at about 15,500, and now where we're at today, we're at about 10,000. So we've seen a decrease since the beginning of the year. And like I said, summer is usually slower anyway, but if this trend continues, we're likely to see some pressure on prices in the upward direction, mainly because we just have such low inventory. And although our demand is not skyrocketing, there's still some strong demand out there, and we don't have the number of listings to support that. Keep in mind, this is just the existing homes on the market. This is not including new construction. There may be a few new construction in here if they listed them on the MLS, but for the most part, this is going to be existing homes, active listings for existing homes. Now, I like to also look at the monthly average sales price, because depending on where you're getting your information, they may be looking at an average, they may be looking at a median. So if you're hearing reports of the average sales price in Phoenix, it is $581,000 currently, and it's still lower than last year at $592,000. But there is a smaller gap between these two, it seems, versus looking at that monthly median. So that's where we're at. But regardless, we're still showing, the same increase from the beginning of the year until now. And we'll just have to see where these sales prices go from here. I thought it might be cool to just take a look at the valley overall. I'm not going to get into too much detail on this one, but you can really see where these prices are at, higher and lower with this heat map. So let me just try to get in here. Move this around a little bit. So obviously the darker red is going to be more expensive, and the green is going to be your least expensive. Don't really have any green on here anymore. I see a bit over here, which is pretty much outside of Phoenix Metro, just east of Santan Valley there. So that's pretty far out. But we've got, of course, the northeast area, your Scottsdale, Cave Creek, Carefree, Rio Verde, all of that being kind of the darker color there. And then the blue is pretty much the least expensive areas that we have on this map anymore, because we don't really even have that dark green. So we're looking at some areas of the West Valley. Right here is 85040. And then we've got a little bit over here in Apache Junction, and then we're going down south of Santan Valley to Florence. So other than that, you have to start looking in these kind of lighter yellow areas. So I just always think this is a good thing to look at, just to get a broad look at where the more expensive and least expensive areas are in the valley, especially if you're new to the valley and want to kind of understand where you are able to afford a home, or hope to afford a home one day if you're planning for the future. So anyway, that is where we're at today with sales prices in the Phoenix area, and giving you a little bit more information about inventory and list prices and whatnot. So we'll keep an eye on this. Like I said earlier in the video, I'm going to be back on Monday with my Monday market update. It has been 14 weeks, but I'm excited to get back. So hopefully all of that information was helpful for you guys today, and stay tuned for Monday so you can get all of the info about what's going on in the Phoenix market, the economy, etc., etc. I'm Caitlin McKeag with the Desert Dreamers team. I will see you guys on Monday.